Welcome to the battlefield of brains, where strategy meets chaos and every move burns with intensity. Watch grandmasters clash, pieces fall, and legends rise. Wesley So opens with e4. A bold spear thrusts straight into the heart of battle, declaring that he wants blood and control of the center from move 1. Atanas Kolev calmly responds with f5, solid, classical, like a knight planting his shield, ready to clash with honor in the open arena. Wesley develops his knight to f3. Swift and precise, the white steed jumps forward to attack the f5 pawn and test Kolev's defenses. Kolev mirrors, with n6, a confident counter, placing his knight like a guard beside the king, reinforcing the vital f5 post. Wesley chooses bb5. The Spanish bishop eyes the knight, a legendary Ruy Lopez stance, quietly threatening structural pain. Kolev pushes a6, a rude shove saying, back off or decide, forcing Wesley's bishop to reveal its true intentions. Wesley trades on chicks, bang, bang. Bishop takes knight, splitting the black pawn structure and turning the position strategically poisonous. Kolev recaptures with dx6, accepting the doubled pawns as scars of war, but opening the d-file for counterplay. Wesley castles kingside. His monarch runs to safety early, preparing to unleash coordinated fire from behind the wall of pawns. Kolev develops bj4. The bishop leaps out like a sniper, pinning the f3 knight and hinting at dark ambitions. Wesley pushes h3, a simple yet sharp jab asking the bishop, do you dare stay, or do you retreat? Kolev retreats to b5, unwilling to give up his post. The bishop hovers menacingly, still watching f3 like a hawk. Wesley goes g4, an aggressive, fiery charge. The white pawns roar forward, flames licking at the dark bishop's robe. Kolev slides bg6, saving his bishop but looking a bit singed. Wesley's kingside looks wild and ready to explode. Wesley sacrifices calm for chaos. Knight c5. The knight dives into the center, cutting deep and shouting, let's fight! And Kolev counters with qh4. The black queen jumps into the attack, eyes glinting toward the white king, danger brewing everywhere. Wesley coolly replies qf3, protecting and counter-threatening. His queen becomes both a shield and a dagger. Kolev pushes f6, trying to trap the intruder knight, showing both courage and risk in the face of So's aggression. Wesley captures knight g6. Boom! The knight doesn't back down, taking a pawn and shredding the black king's side. Kolev responds hx. The h-file opens like a wound, smoke rising from the kingside battlefield. Wesley moves kg2, calmly stepping aside, preparing his rook for action and clearing the first rank for counterplay. Kolev pushes g5, a risky thrust declaring, if I burn with you. Wesley advances d3, stabilizing the center amid the flames, reinforcing his knight and preparing future central storms. Kolev develops nis7, bringing a fresh warrior to the field, perhaps dreaming of Fauer or g6 squares. Wesley lifts his rook to roan, a theatrical move, setting the stage for heavy artillery to enter the war zone. Kolev's queen slides to qa7, poised like a snake, preparing dark coordination toward the weakened white king side. Wesley pulls kf1a, a quiet yet deep move, pulling his king away from danger, ready for regrouping and counterattack. Kolev castles long bolt. The black king runs to the opposite wing, promising a brutal race of pawn storms. Wesley calmly develops b3. His bishop points like a laser toward the enemy queen, aiming for precise retaliation. Kolev shuffles gabite, tucking the king even safer, anticipating the oncoming hurricane from Wesley's queenside pawns. Wesley maneuvers nd2-2. The knight pivots, with purpose, eyes fixed on c4, preparing to jump into the fray again. Kolev brings q8, setting up a gloomy battery with the rook, the black queen ready to join the kingside mayhem. Wesley places nc4. The knight lands like thunder, controlling key squares and announcing, the counterattack begins. Kolev counters with ng6. His knight leaps into the darkness, ready to bite at Fauer and challenge Wesley's expanding dominance. Wesley's queen slides to k5, sharp and daring, aiming at the weak light squares and daring black to blink first. Kolev brings r8-6, an ambitious lift, preparing to double rooks or shield the trembling kingside with a last stand. Wesley thrusts f4, the signal flare of war. The queenside offensive officially begins, unstoppable as a tide. Kolev calmly places bb4, trying to add pressure and intercept Wesley's pawns before they crash through. Wesley repositions qf3, cool as ice, eyeing the 8 on diagonal, while maintaining control over both wings. Kolev answers qsf7. The queen drifts back, watching from afar, perhaps realizing the storm can't be stopped. Wesley plays ket2, moving the king toward the center like a general stepping into command during the battle's peak. Kolev develops nh4. The knight strikes forward, trying to disrupt Wesley's queen and create tactical smoke. Wesley retaliates qg3. Laser-focused, the queen threatens punishment if black overextends even 1 inch. Kolev repeats ng6. The knight dances back, unsure whether to fight or flee, the battlefield trembling with tension. Wesley continues qf3, unfazed, steady as a heartbeat, forcing Kolev to reveal his real plan. Kolev again goes nh4, repeating the dance, but it feels desperate now, as if time is slipping through his fingers. Wesley repeats qg3, like a hunter circling prey, keeping every angle under control and testing Kolev's patience. Kolev mirrors nh6, the same knight, the same square, but now under more pressure, the repetition growing heavy. Wesley breaks the cycle with c3, finally changing rhythm, solidifying the center and preparing the pawn avalanche. Kolev replies b7, a defensive move, trying to organize his scattered army before the storm hits full force. Wesley answers b4. The engine roars louder. The pawn chain on the queen's side is officially rolling downhill. Kolev raises right. The rook returns to duty, regrouping for a last-ditch counterstrike. Wesley adds b5. The hammer falls. The pawn smashes forward, shaking the black fortress to its core. Kolev sacrifices or e3. A desperate tactical leap, trying to open the white king's cover and confuse the battlefield. Wesley calmly plays rx takes 3. No hesitation, no mercy, removing the intruder and standing tall amid the chaos. Kolev takes back qax h3. The black queen slashes through, eyes burning for counterplay, though the tide turns dark. Wesley responds rx h3, clean, efficient, annihilating the attack, and forcing simplification. Kolev captures with qx 3. Again the queen persists, trying to draw breath from collapsing lines. Wesley goes bs6, and the queen side detonates. White's pawn explosion smashes open the front gates of Kolev's fortress. Kolev defends with bs6, resigned but fighting on, trying to keep structure alive amid the smoking ruins. Wesley's knight jumps to n5. A bold leap, eyeing chicks, and b7 like a predator scenting weakness. Kolev shifts side, tucking the king away just a bit, sensing the storm about to break overhead. Wesley delivers Ingesixian. The spear strikes home. The knight devours the pawn and cuts into the black king's shield. Kolev counters bd6, throwing a bishop in the way, hoping to hold the line with sheer faith and geometry. Wesley pushes d4. Unstoppable momentum, the center joins the fight, turning Wesley's army into a rolling machine of fate. Wesley brings our bone. The rook slides to the open file, a silent cannon, ready to fire at any weakness in black's camp. Kolev answers bx3. The dark bishop finally bites, trading itself for stability, trying to simplify before collapse. Wesley recaptures f3. The pawn opens the f-file like a fresh wound, inviting his rooks to thunder through. Kolev plays rg3, a lurking threat. His rook creeps toward the white king, dreaming of counterplay and hope. Wesley calmly pushes d5, a massive central shove, cutting lines and pushing Kolev's king closer to disaster. Kolev moves kd7, retreating into the fog, hoping to regroup before the avalanche hits full speed. Wesley responds rebite. The rook infiltrates like a sniper, lining up against the black king's thin defense. Kolev slides kd6. His king marches into danger, choosing courage over hiding, a desperate act of survival. Wesley strikes kc5. Correction. The action flows as Kolev tries kc5 later, but here Wesley's pressure builds silently. Kolev counters kc5, stepping into open fire, his king exposed under the roaring cannons. Wesley plays a date, check. The rook screams down the file, forcing black's king to dance in the flames. Kolev blocks with kc4, running deeper into enemy territory, hoping confusion will save him. Wesley calmly continues rg7, relentless precision, tightening the net with professional cruelty. Kolev grabs ix4, finally snatching a pawn, but at the cost of time his army stretched too thin. Wesley answers, rx d7, bang. He strikes back instantly, restoring balance and tearing open new lines. Kolev defends with nh4. The knight leaps forward like a dying star, trying one last heroic stand. Wesley captures rx7, the rook crashes through, devouring the 7 pawn, now standing face to face with the black king. Kolev moves kd6, running again, the poor monarch chased across the board like prey. Wesley steadies Ruy, cool and dominant, positioning for the final knockout combination. Kolev defends with rg21. Check. A flash of defiance, a final desperate roar before silence. Wesley answers, kfone, stepping away neatly, unbothered, his king calm amid chaos. Kolev advances g4. One last push, hoping to distract, but his forces are burning out fast. Wesley counters re6. Check again. The rook hunts the black king like a heat-seeking missile. Kolev flees k7, his monarch trembling under fire, running out of safe squares to breathe. Wesley fires rx f6. The rook devours the pawn, gaining more material and sealing the fate of black's defense. Kolev grimly replies g3. The pawn stumbles forward, a hopeless attempt to create counterplay in ashes. Wesley simply rf7d. Check once more, forcing the black king into a dance of despair. Kolev moves kd6. The same tragic march, back and forth, nowhere left to run. Wesley repeats, rf6. Precision torture, squeezing every last breath from the black monarch. Kolev steps k7. Trapped in repetition, his king barely surviving under the relentless blows. Wesley brings rf3. The rook repositions gracefully, controlling the board and preparing the finishing touch. Finally, Kolev faces 49. N4. Wesley's knight jumps forward, sealing all escape routes. Black resigns. Victory to So, calm, cold, and magnificent. I'll end the video here. Please, give me a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll keep finding the best and newest videos to share with you. Thank you so much, and I wish you all happiness and good health.